What side of your mouth are you talking out of? Which side? Hi everyone, I'm Soraya Rhea, and thanks for tuning in for another one of my reviews of 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way. Episode, I know I should know this, 7, 8, sorry, but it'll be in the thumbnail. Okay, so I've been trying to, with the last couple of episodes, I've been trying to bring in some of my international buys, trinkets and souvenirs and stuff to be able to show. I personally haven't been to Korea, but a student of mine brought this back for me from Korea many years ago. I mean, it's not as clean as it used to be, but it's so cute. It's my little pencil case, my little pencil case. I keep a lot of pens and stuff in here, and I still use it to this day. So this is something very common that you would see in Korea, like, and they're like stationery stores, so just they're like trinket, souvenir stores, or whatever, these kinds of these little cutesy things. All right, let's get to it. Starting with Evelyn and Corey. Okay, so for the past couple of days, Evelyn and Corey have been staying by Evelyn's abuelita because the apartment where they will be living, the roof is being fixed and, repaired or whatever, right? Okay, so they've been staying with her grandmother. And Corey's trying to speak Spanish. I will give him that. He's definitely trying. I mean, he needs help with his accent, his vowels, and all of that, but he's definitely trying. Evelyn tells us that she's really happy that Corey's here, and because she gets to hug him and kiss him, and she's just excited. But then anything that she has to do for him, she is hella annoyed. And so every now and again, of course, she has to interpret what her family is saying to him. He can respond in a way, or as best as he can, but to be able to understand what they're saying, especially if they're not going to slow down their speech and if they're not going to enunciate as much as he would need for an emerging speaker and learner, he's just not going to get it. So she has to jump in and interpret what they're saying a lot, but she looks hella annoyed every time. But he tries to respond in Spanish as much as possible, which I think it shows that he's trying. So I say, go ahead, Corey, you're doing the best that you can. So Evelyn lets us know that it is her younger brother's birthday that night, so the family is going to get together. So this will be an opportunity for Corey to be around her whole family for the first time in months. And so she's looking forward to that. Again, she is looking for Corey to prove himself. Like, she just is looking for that. and he's trying again. So they go to get a chicken, and I don't understand Americans or just people that go to different countries. Okay, it's Americans, right? I understand having to get used to a new location and having to get used to not having the conveniences of America. I get it. But the shock that they experience and that they express is really annoying. I know part of it is for the show, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of it is not for the show, and this is probably how they would be reacting no matter what. So Corey, even though Corey is not from a city, but I guess he wasn't from a farm, so I guess he never saw the killing of animals and stuff. Now, I did not grow up on a farm, but I do recognize that this is how it works in other countries, and I have seen a chicken killed, my grandfather's backyard in Jamaica. So, so he starts squeaking and squealing. So essentially, him and Evelyn go to buy a chicken, and the woman takes the chicken from the little coop, and of course he's just like, oh my gosh, the smell is so gross. I feel sick to my stomach. Oh my gosh. Now, that would be the same thing here in America. I don't think that chicken coops smell any better here. So again, we're just talking about somebody that just does not have farm life experience. Fine. So then the woman goes to kill the chicken, and she puts it in this kind of like funnel thing where the head is either sticking out or at the bottom, whatever, and then she goes to chop off its neck. And Corey's like saying like, no, this isn't right. right? Isn't there a place that we can go buy it, or a store where it's already in plastico or whatever? And I'm just like, oh my God. Yes, Evelyn is embarrassed. And the woman that is killing the chicken is also embarrassed and saying like, he's like a chicken. And is different from the guys that are here. I realized, I'm like, okay, you know what? A woman that's not from here, like a foreign woman, that's the kind of guy you gonna get. That's the kind of American guy you gonna get. Because he's kind of like Paul. I mean, he's a better version of Paul. He's normal. And, but you know, they're not, you ain't gonna get that type, like, alpha male guy. You're not. He's, you know, when you think about him, you think about Ross from Rossi Pau. Obviously you think about Paul from Paul and Carini. Like, yeah, they're like all the same. Like, they're like high voiced, you know, little dainty, whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're nice guys. I mean, Paul, but I think Corey's nice. I think Russ is nice, but they end up with these women that I think want a kind of alpha male, but it's like, no. Anyway, so she gets annoyed and really just, ugh. What I will say to Evelyn is, Evelyn, you have to remember, you did not like life in Washington. And you look like you were rolling your eyes every which way, which was, to me, pretty disrespectful. And so anytime that she gets annoyed with Corey not being able to immerse himself or just be comfortable with his life there in Ecuador, I think I would just say to Evelyn, even though, yes, she made it very clear that she don't want to live in Washington because she doesn't like it, but it's like the same way that you had to get used to living there and then you didn't want to, at least give Corey, you know, give him a moment. Give him a moment. Again, Americans, what is wrong with you people? Like, first of all, I understand if you don't want to see the killing of the animals, but this is one of the reasons why vegans say, then go vegan. If you can't take the killing of the animals that you gonna eat, then go vegan. Yeah, I can take that. But my other thing is, what, like, that's a fresh chicken. Like, you literally saw where it came from, and that thing is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to write expiration dates on it. Like, that's fresh. Like, how do you not see that as being a good thing? It just makes no sense. Moving on to Laura and Aladdin. Okay, so Laura flies into Qatar, and, you know, she's saying a lot of the right things. Like, you know, I'm taking a real risk here. I am sacrificing so much for my relationship with Aladdin, and you know, I just don't know how to feel about it. You know, she realizes that she doesn't fully trust him yet, and he has to prove himself. So she says kind of a lot of these right things, but then she flips and just says like, but I'm just gonna take the plunge. And again, I think I just question, I understand, you know, at some point you have to take this kind of leap of faith with things in life where nothing's going to be 100% perfect or 100% ready before you can do something. But I do think that it's still unwise to jump in to something that still does not have a firm foundation. By the way, Laura also suddenly starts calling Aladdin her husband. Oh yeah, I'm finally gonna meet my husband, Aladdin, or whatever. Oh, so he your husband now. So y'all legit married now? Which one is it, Laura? So, and I will say this. Everybody take a lesson from Aladdin, especially you, Colty. Aladdin showed up with flowers at the airport, okay? And but he also brought his entourage with him, which Laura wasn't too happy about that because she wanted to get right down to the nitty-gritty right away. She didn't want to have to do fake smiles with friends that she doesn't know. She wanted to talk to him right away about him blocking her on social media and the fact that they have some serious kinks to work out. So again, Laura's saying a lot of the right things, a lot of the good things. I think the concern is that she's coming off sounding very mommy-like, okay? Like, you showing your age, or you're showing the age gap, you know? So unless she's okay with that, it's not gonna go away. So anyway, they get to their apartment and Laura notes that, okay, it's a small place. And then she sees the two burners, and then realizes that there's no oven and there's only a warmer thing that looks like a child's play oven. And she's like, okay, no, that can't work. Like, I feel like I'm camping. Do y'all watch House Hunters International? I mean, wherever you go, even many places they go to in Europe, okay, they don't got no oven, no like legit like pull down baking oven. Like a lot of people, they don't have that. I'm surprised that there was a full size fridge at their apartment. So Laura's kind of like, oh my gosh, these two little camper burners. Yes. Okay, what you want? That full 5-burner range? Gas range? No. Where do you see that in House Hunters International? Never. So, again, my thing is, I'm not saying these things do not exist there, but it's like you do realize that you're always working with a particular price point. So unless you're about to contribute to that price point to be able to get a larger apartment or whatever, I mean, it's like, why are you talking about it? So, and even Aladdin is like it's a small apartment. Like, you got to get used to it and, kind of get over the little bit of the luxuries that you're used to. One of the things that Laura says about Aladdin is, I hope that he realizes all that I'm sacrificing to be with him and that he needs to be able to sacrifice the same. No, he's not. He's never going to sacrifice the same as you. I mean, mind you, Aladdin's not even living in his home country, but he's still living in his side of the world, and, this is where he was living before, he met you or whatever. So, like, this is his life and the life that he's chosen even before you. So there is no way for him to sacrifice as much as you sacrificed. How? I mean, you'd have to switch places and let him go to America for a time in order for that, to take place. So I'm not exactly sure, what does she think he needs to do in order to sacrifice what? Again, if you want particular luxuries that you will find in American homes and apartments, again, is that a sacrifice that he would have to make? Or is it really just about coming up to a particular price point? And is that even possible? Again, just reminding my 90-day people, you ain't in Kansas anymore, people. You just are not in Kansas. Moving on to Tiffany and Ronald. So the major thing that happens with Tiffany and Ronald is when he gets home from his bachelor party, he basically tells Tiffany everything and she is pissed. She does not even want to film that night. So she, just lets the producers know, like, no, I don't even want to talk about it. So she's able to get herself calmed down, whatever, overnight, and then is ready to talk and film in the morning. So her and Ronald talk about everything that happened, everything that went down. He confesses and lets her know everything. One of the things that Ronald says, which to me just shows his immaturity, he says, I wish that I could just make Tiffany trust me like that. I wish that her trust can just come like that. And I mean, I get what he's saying, but like, no, but to me, the fact that you would even want that or desire that, to me, means that you're not in it for the work that it takes for trust to happen and build and grow and develop. I mean, it just don't work like that. Tiffany explains to him, you have to show me on a consistent basis that you are ready, that you are trustworthy, because otherwise me and Daniel are not going to move here permanently. Again, that sounds like the right thing to say, but what I don't understand is, how can Tiffany say that when she knows that she's going to marry Ronald in just a few days? Shouldn't it be the other way around? Live for a time. Let's live around each other. You prove to me that you can be consistent. You prove to me that you can be trustworthy, and then we will marry and then move here permanently. I don't get how it will work where she's going to marry him in a couple days and then give him an opportunity to prove himself. So then if he doesn't prove himself trustworthy, then you're going to move back to America having already married him? I don't get that. Ronald, admits that Tiffany and Daniel are his world and they mean everything to him. Again, he says the right things, but then his actions do not match up, because if Tiffany and Ronald truly meant the world, then you wouldn't have just done the exact opposite that she had asked you not to do at your bachelor party. But then Ronald also says in his interview that, but it was just a bachelor party. Almost like, but you have to expect this from bachelor party. So again, what side of your mouth are you talking out of? Which side? I mean, his friends really don't care. I mean, I think it's probably a combination of his friends not caring about his addiction, but also the fact that maybe they just really don't even have a deep understanding of what it means to be a recovering addict. Because if they did, I think that they would have not got him involved with that behavior. Even if they're just saying, oh, it's one night, that's the whole point. It's never just one drink. It's never just one gamble. I don't even know what to say, right? Gamble or game or chance or whatever. You know, it's never just one click of the mouse to a pornographic site. Once you are there, you're done, you know? So that's the thing. So I don't know. I don't really know what to say about Tiffany and Ronald. I think that Tiffany's just going to adjust her. I don't know. I really don't see her leaving him. So, or not living in South Africa. I think she's made her decision since she's marrying him first. She is making the commitment, the legal commitment, the forever commitment, first. So I just think that she's just going to adjust her standards. She's going to adjust her expectations little by little, because Ronald, being that he already failed, you know, he's going to continue to not meet her standards and not meet her expectations. And she's just going to adjust in order to be able to stay with him. That's what I think. Next, we're going to talk about Sumit and Jenny. Now, I'm not sure if his name is Sumit now or if it's Smeet, because I feel like Jenny is calling him Smeet. So I don't know. What's your name? Smeet? Sumit or Smeet? Or is that her nickname for you? I don't know. I've got to say, I mean, look, y'all, it doesn't even matter that Sumit and Jenny like started with the whole catfish thing or whatever. Honestly, it doesn't even matter. Like, their love is real. Like, Jenny and Sumit really love each other. I've got to say, and Jenny noted at the end that they have been together for 6 years. And she's like, you don't survive a 6-year long distance relationship. You know, people don't like that. Those are low odds. And she's right. But she's like, we survived it. So, you know, they're going to keep fighting and they're going to keep trying to be together. And I think that's a really great point. But let me tell you, like, the reason why I think that they really love each other is, Sumit, he's a real one. Like, Sumit is a real one. I need me a Sumit. Like, for real, for real. Sumit said, I wrote the quote down, I will stand up for her and fight for her every time. I need me a Sumit. So, like, here's what happened. So first, they go to meet Sumit's friends, Niraj and Romit. I think Romit is cute. I think he's real cute. Anyway, but so they meet them at a restaurant and they're just talking about, you know, the fact that Sumit hasn't told his parents yet and what is he going to do and blah, blah, blah. So his friends are trying to give him like encouragement or whatever. And at one point, some other patrons at the restaurant start saying things about Jenny and whatever. So of course, Sumit can understand them and he hears them and you can see him getting like a little agitated. And then finally he speaks up. Here's what I also love. One, Sumit starts fighting for his woman. Okay? He starts fighting for his woman. But then on top of that, he does it in the most polite way. He's like, buddy, please don't mind. Please don't mind. This is a request on my side. And he basically says, like, look, I understand what you're saying. You're talking about my woman. Stop talking about my woman. And then he even goes to say, like, I'm trying to do something good for India. And what you're doing is very bad for India. So please stop. Oh, I just thought it was so cute, so sweet. But like, he was like, Sumit is just real. Like, he is real. Whether there are parts of I actually don't think that their thing is scripted. I don't. And if even given things to say, I don't know. I think that their story is actually really real. And one thing that Jenny said when they were at the restaurant to Sumit's friends, I didn't like. She was like, so you have to live your lives like according to like what everyone else thinks, like according to what your parents say. You know, and she was like, why can't you just like, you guys need to get past that. Like, why can't you just like do what you want, you know? And I'm like, again, I think that's very rude. It is such a, you know, kind of an ignorant, pompous, arrogant way of thinking. You know, look, that is how it works there, or at least for many people. It's like Jenny wants them to like renounce their culture in a way. With the ways that she's saying things, like, you need to get past that, or you care what other people think, like, you need to be able to do whatever you want to do. And it's like, wait, like, I don't think that you really understand and then respect his culture. Now, mind you, it is still Sumit who has not truly stood up to his parents. Then after the restaurant scene, Jenny and Sumit go to meet, I'm assuming it was an immigration lawyer, because they want to find out the process of getting married. And Sumit says that he's not sure if Jenny really understands that getting married actually is not really as easy as she thinks it is. Or perhaps as easy as it could possibly be in the States. So the lawyer, now I'll be honest, I kind of really didn't get what the lawyer was saying, but my understanding is that the lawyer said that I guess they would have to apply maybe for a marriage license or something. Some kind of application they would have to put in. And something would then be mailed back to Sumit's permanent residence. Now, why Sumit's permanent residence could not be the location where they are staying right now, their apartment, I don't understand why that can't be your permanent resident. Now, there very well might be a reason for it, but to me at least, I didn't get the explanation. He realized that the letter would likely go to his parents' home, and then they would suddenly clue in, if Sumit doesn't tell him beforehand, that, oh my gosh, this is Sumit trying to get married to that older white lady. And they're going to blow a gasket. So, I mean, then him and Jenny leave the appointment. They go into the street and they are hugging and boo-hooing and crying the heck out of each other. And, you know, I mean, it's really sweet because I really, really do think it is genuine. My thing is, Sumit, the answer is tell your parents. I mean, it's just tell your parents. And then to Jenny's kind of thing, like, it's like, I mean, Jenny, the thing is, it's like, being that this is how it works there in New Delhi, India, it's as if she's like the 60-year-old woman, but in like a teen romance, you know, forbidden romance, like Romeo and Juliet. So it's like, your age clearly means nothing in the sense that it's not causing Sumit to act any more like an adult, or it's not giving him any more adult rights, you know. So she's annoyed at that, but it's like, but this is what it means to be with somebody that, you know, I guess you're not what they approve of. Lastly, we got to talk about Devin and Jihoon. So not much happened with Devin and Jihoon. One thing that Devin tells us at the beginning is that Drusilla got really sick, and so sick that her mom had to fly to Vegas at that, to pick Drusilla up and bring her back home to Utah. She didn't indicate what the sickness was, but, you know, I guess it was enough for her that it was too much for her to take care of. Okay, so, but clearly things went a little bit more smoothly without Drusilla. And Devin was able to take Jihoon and his parents on a bus tour of Vegas, and they're just having a great time. Devin definitely seems worried all the time. Like, are they having a good time? Ask them. Are they enjoying themselves? Mind you, they're like taking pictures. They're smiling. They're not even like straight-faced people. Like, they have pleasant countenances. Devin is the one that like doesn't smile or whatever, or just kind of has this stoic like look on her face, you know? Anyway, so then at one point they go back to the home where they're staying, and they're having a meal or whatever, and Devin finally says, I really need to get their approval because this is what we have to do in Korean culture. So she asks Jihoon to ask his parents if they approve and if they will approve and bless their marriage. And Devin's father, you know, he takes the stage and he basically says he was completely surprised. And he's trying to speak as much English as possible, which I think is great. And he basically says, like, when Jihoon told him everything, basically that she was pregnant, he was just like shocked and surprised. And here's Devin. Oh, I was surprised too. I was surprised too. Really? Really? Were you? Then, but then they basically were like, we welcome you into our family. And I mean, Jihoon's father said it like so many times in so many different ways, you know, like it was really sweet. And to me, it was not a surprise because I think that he was, I mean, there was nothing that his parents did or didn't do that indicated that they were like not about to say yes to their unborn grandchild, you know, and their son's baby mama. So slash new fiance. She was like, breathe a sigh of relief. She finally smiles and laughs and whatever. And, you know, then they both give her a hug. And then she's like in her interview, like, and I was just really happy that they gave me a hug. Like I was just, you know, really surprised because that's not how they do it over there. Oh my gosh. Okay, I get it. First of all, there's a way to say that, you know, there are different things about the way we do things and the way that they do things, or our cultures are different, our practices are different. There are ways to say it that doesn't sound just disrespectful and pompous and whatever, right? And I just feel like Devin, the way that she says, that's not how they do it over there. You know, I just felt like it was rude, you know, but it's like, I'm sorry, like, what does she know or think about Korea? And what did you tell her, Jihoon? So that's pretty much it, y'all. What do you think? Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. Like and then subscribe so you know when I'm posting my next video. I think Sumit just needs to come clean, right? What do y'all think? Sumit just needs to, let's hear it, Sumit. Come on, right? See you next time. Bye. Do y'all watch House Hunters International? I mean,